Name?
Bond. James Bond.
James Bond.
There is a sad news for fan of James Bond movie lovers. The coronavirus pandemic has led to the postponement of many films. Among them, the most remarkable is No Time to Die, the next James Bond installment. You are watching It's Different, a channel of different taste and insight, promised to present something different always. Now we will go to some of the most iconic locations of Bond movie in real life. Bond movie span the globe, showing its viewers not just London, but also far-flung locations like Italy, Jamaica, Greece, Turkey, Norway and Scotland. From Dr. No to Spectre, each Bond is enough to give you the serious travel bug. As a Bond fan, I try to seek out sites shown in the series when I travel. And though local or international travel isn't recommended or responsible, until the planet gets the pandemic under control, you can always visit virtually from home through my channel. Here are a few incredible places I've been so far and hope all of you will enjoy it. And I am sure some of you would surely make your next destination in any of the place. Once the pandemic is under control, keep them in mind for when you can travel again. Can you recall this scene? It's Sean Connery. He gets the plans for the Soviet embassy from Tatiana Romanova. Yeah, you're correct, it's a scene from James Bond's second movie From Russia with Love. But do you know the place? It's Hagia Sophia, where many films' pivotal scenes takes place. Completed in 537, in the late antiquity, it is famous for its massive dome. It was the world's largest building and an engineering marvel of its time. The Hagia Sophia served as an Eastern Orthodox cathedral. Except between 1204 and 1261, when it was converted by the Fourth Crusaders to a Roman Catholic cathedral under the Latin Empire. When the city was called Constantinople and was the capital of the Byzantine Empire. After the Ottoman Empire conquered Constantinople in 1453, it was converted into an Ottoman mosque from May 29, 1453 until 1931. It was then secularized and opened as a museum on February 1, 1935. It remained the world's largest cathedral for nearly 1,000 years. Until Seville Cathedral was completed in 1520. Now a museum, it has an immense scale that's as dazzling and as impressive as the Parthenon or the Colosseum. Walk in, stand under the 183-foot dome and just take it in. Yeah, there are exhibits to read, but just gawking is fine. Your next stop is nearby at the Basilica Cistern. The cistern is located 150 meters southwest of the Hagia Sophia on the historical peninsula of Sarajevo. Was built in the 6th century during the reign of Byzantine Emperor Justinian I. Where Bond and MI6 station chief Karim Bey embark on a boat to sneak under the Soviet consulate. Sadly, the periscope they used to observe the consulate's secret meeting was movie fiction. Built in the 5th century, the cistern has a massive scale. 453 feet long by 213 feet high. And can hold 2.8 million cubic feet of water. Today it is kept with little water, for public access inside the space. The ceiling is supported by a forest of 336 marble columns. Each 9 meters, 30 feet, high, arranged in 12 rows of 28 columns each spaced 5 meters or 16 feet apart. Located in the northwest corner of the cistern. The bases of 2 columns reused blocks carved with the visage of Medusa. The origin of the 2 heads is unknown, though it is thought that the heads were brought to the cistern after being removed from a building of the late Roman period. 52 stone steps descend into the entrance of the cistern. The cistern is surrounded by a fire brick wall with a thickness of 4 meters or 13 feet, and coated with a waterproofing mortar. The Basilica Cistern can feel like a bit of a tourist trap, but it's still pretty cool. Every Bond lover can recall their memory for the scene of a dripping Ursula Andress emerging from the sea in a white bikini. Yes. The scene from Dr. No is one of the most famous Bond scenes of all time. And you can reenact it where it was filmed. It's in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. Not only for the first James Bond film Dr. No. Almost every James Bond film has 1 or 2 glances of Jamaica in it. The white bikini of Ursula Andress, also known as the Dr. No bikini, was a white bikini worn by Ursula Andress as Honey Rider. On the backdrop of Ocho Rios in Jamaica in the 1962 James Bond film, Dr. No is cited as the most famous bikini of all time and an iconic moment in cinematic and fashion history. Andress's white bikini is regarded as monumental in the history of the bikini. Ocho Rios, Spanish for 8 Rivers, is a town in the parish of Saint Anne, on the north coast of Jamaica, and is more widely referred to as Ochi by the locals, beginning as a sleepy fishing village. Ocho Rios has seen explosive growth in the last decade to become a popular tourist destination featuring duty-free shopping, a cruise ship terminal. The town is served by both the Donald Sangster International Airport, 97 kilometers west of Ocho Rios, and the Ian Fleming International Airport, 17 kilometers east of Ocho Rios, named for the creator of James Bond. Scuba diving and other water sports are offered in the town's vicinity. This would be a fantastic tourist spot for everyone once the lockdown of COVID-19 pandemic is over. In a region of almost inaccessible sandstone's peak, monks settled from 11th century AD. Meteora translates to suspended in the air, and that's exactly what's been done to the ancient monasteries here. Meteora and its clifftop monasteries are worth a visit on their own. But, for James Bond fans, a visit to the Holy Trinity Monastery is a must. It was featured in For Your Eyes Only, when Bond climbed up the cliff face and into the villain's hideout. This is where Bond battles with villain Aristotle Christados and foils the KGB's plans. Trust me, Meteora is one of the most striking places you'll ever visit, making it far worth the 4-hour drive from Athens, or the 3-hour trek from Thessaloniki. Rising above the town of Kalambaka are immense monolithic pillars and giant boulders that border the Pindos Mountains in northern Greece. 24 of these monasteries were built, despite incredible difficulties, at the time of great revival of the Eremitic ideal in the 15th century. Sitting atop the ridges are 6 Orthodox monasteries. They are Varlam, St. Nicholas Anapauses, Holy Trinity, St. Stephen, Rausanu, Great Meteoron, the oldest of which was built in the 11th century. Though all are active monasteries, they admit tourists for a small fee. Bus tours from Kalambaka are available, but it's best if you rent a car and explore the monasteries on your own. A paved circular road connects all 6, though each is worth a visit. Bond fans shouldn't miss the Monastery of the Holy Trinity, which played the part of the abandoned St. Cyril's in the film. Unfortunately, you don't have to be winched up in a basket to visit. Instead, you climb a staircase cut into the cliff. But the setting is spectacular, as the monks wouldn't permit the film crews inside. Interior shots were done on a soundstage. The real thing is better, in any case. You'll see some rich frescoes before walking the grounds to take in the jaw-dropping view of the valley below. Sitting atop a 400-meter stone column, with no connecting bridge whatsoever, the Monastery of the Holy Trinity didn't seem real, even when I was standing right in front of it. A spectacular secret of James Bond movie, you might be eager to hear. President J.F. Kennedy is partly responsible for Bond's success in the U.S. In a 1961 interview with Life magazine, he listed From Russia, with Love as one of his favorite novels of all time. Sales boomed, and the next Bond film made was From Russia, with Love, due to the president's influence. Incidentally, this is the last movie JFK ever saw. He watched it one day before his trip to Texas in 1963. JFK also included Fleming in conversations about how to defeat Fidel Castro in Cuba. Perhaps why some of the plans sound like something out of a James Bond novel.